Afternoon, Ira. How you doing? Good.
Coach, overall first impressions of camp, how'd they look out there?
A lot of recall from minicamp and OTA, so that was good. We were fast. We got to be smarter. Obviously, it's the first day, but very pleased with everything.
Julio Jones, the team just made his signing official. Just your overall thoughts on bringing him aboard this squad?
Well, he's still a good football player. We got to replace Gronk's catches, so we got an extra weapon, especially in the red zone and out in the field, and we're going to put him to use. It gives us a chance to be more creative in some of the things we do, and we're happy to have him.
Coach, where is Chris Godwin now, and when do you expect him to do so on the field?
Chris has been working like crazy. He's getting better every day. We don't have a timetable yet, but when he comes out, we'll be happy to have him come out. But he's a diligent worker, and we're pleased where he is.
Maybe you expected this, but it seems on the injury front to be a lot of good progress. To see Levante out there, to see some of the other guys that were held out. Are you pleased just how well guys have come back healthy?
Yeah, it's been good. They worked on their off time during vacation. A lot of guys worked. They came in and they worked out pretty good, so we're happy with that.
You mentioned red zone. Gronk, really, actually, all your tight ends, heavy usage in the red zone there. Was that something like a key factor for you guys in looking at these new additions, like how we got like Julio Jones production in the red zone?
No, they're more or less good football players. Tight ends get a lot of balls because you're doubling the wide receivers, so that's a natural thing. But these two guys are good football players in their own right, whether it's in the field or in the red zone.
Anybody not show off today, Todd, that you expected?
Everyone's here.
Circling back to OTAs and minicamp, you mentioned Devin Tompkins, that you were going to have an eye on him. Has he already started to impress you, even though it's just day one?
Day one, not yet. I got to look at the film. Right now, we're just running around getting acclimated again. We're going to ramp up, so we're getting pads and everything's going to really start up. But mentally, he's been doing his job, so I'm happy with that.
Todd, what do you expect realistically for Julio to come in and do? Obviously, new team, he wasn't with you in this offseason, so now that it's official, if he can start tomorrow, what in terms of speeding him up in his process, what do you expect out of him?
He's got to learn the system, number one. He's been in a bunch of systems right now. He's a pro. He's going to learn it. It's probably just the terminology. And his health has been an issue in the past, and he's healthy right now. So we're going to monitor that and keep it up and make sure he can help us.
There's a lot of talk in this summer about Leonard Fournette, his conditioning. How do you think he looked today, first day back?
Leonard looked good. I don't know too many players in the offseason that's going to stay in shape year-round. As long as they're in shape in training camp, he ran great in the test yesterday. He's explosive. He's quick, and we're happy with him.
This is day one, but how are the players kind of faring with the heat? Because I know that's always a thing, especially with the newer players.
Well, today's been a little breezy, so this has been a good day. You talk to me in about 5 or 6 days, I'll have a better answer for you.
What was your message to the team before you guys started practice today?
Just focusing on the details, having some recall from OTAs and minicamp, playing smart because we're at the pads on the first day, and understanding, although we're competing, we have to understand we're on the same team, so we're not going to tolerate too much fighting and fist fighting and everything, but I thought the guys did a good job of handling practice today.
How would you say the approach takes from an attitude standpoint?
The attitude's been great. We got a lot of leaders in that locker room, coaches as well, so the attitude's been great, and we don't have a problem with that.
What was it like for you, Todd, shifting your focus between defense and offense?
It's always on defense, so I can see things on offense and point things out if I have to, but I'm a defensive coach. Byron runs the offense. When it's time to manage things and do things, I have a lot of people in my ear. I trust myself to make the right decision.
How's Russell Gage around right now for you?
Russ looks great. He came back in great shape, and we're happy to have him moving.
What organizational changes have you made, philosophical, managerial, since your time with the Jets? Now it's like coaching the Bucs.
We might be here for 24 hours. It's just a matter of understanding what you're getting before it happens. When you're a first-time head coach, no matter what they tell you, there are some things that's going to happen that you're going to have to deal with, that you're not sure about, making decisions that you have to make them on. Understanding, having seen everything, understanding my strengths, my weaknesses, understanding everybody around me. It's different because I've been here for 3 years, and I didn't have to build a staff and then get acclimated to the building or anything else like that. So that part, from a camaraderie standpoint, that's been great. So it really feels like it hadn't changed for me.
Does it feel, I would assume, maybe light years ahead when you say you're not building a staff? It's almost like so much is the same. So when you go back to that first week maybe with the Jets or your first training camp? I mean, how much more comfortable and easier does this feel when you don't spend the time having to build those things?
I think I was comfortable then. It's just a matter of having to redo a playbook, teaching coaches what you want and how they want it done, and going through that whole thing. We've all been together for a while now, if not just here, just other places, so it's a lot easier from a continuity standpoint, and we have great leaders as coaches on our staff, so that helps out a lot.
It was already a competitive wide receiver room, and you have guys, good football players on that side, so why this late did you feel, was it Godwin's help? What made you feel like you needed to add a Julio Jones on the eve of training camp?
If you look at last year, we got beat up pretty good in the receiver room, and we kind of limped to the finish line at the end. So if you wait till midseason, you're not going to get a good football player. You're going to be grabbing guys. So Jason's very smart. We're going to do the smart thing and try to get a lot of depth now so we don't have to stumble or hit a rock on the way trying to win some ball games. And we got people that can step in that know how to play.
You mentioned that he was healthy coming in. He didn't get to practice a lot last year in Atlanta and even last year with the Titans. How crucial was that to get him and Tom on the same page?
I think it's very crucial to get on the same page as the quarterback. You know, we'll see about the reps as he goes, but if he can get on the same page, and I know he's a pro and he's a heck of a guy, just talking to him out there and playing against him, if we can get him on the same page, you know, you don't have to spell anybody. You know, if Mike and Chris come out and Russ and Julio go in, or we run 3 wides or 4 wides or whatever we do over there, it's an added luxury, and we still have young guys that can still play, that got to compete too. So we have a lot of competition this camp, probably more than we've had since I've been here. And it's when you become a good team, you're going to have a lot of competition, so there's going to be some tough decisions to be made.
How's Devontae look to you? How's he moving around?
He's moving around fine. He's healthy. He looks the same.
There's no replacing Rob Gronkowski, right? Future Hall of Famer, but what does Kyle Rudolph bring to the team?
He brings intelligence, he brings toughness, he brings savvy, and he's played the game for a while. So he gives us an extra guy. He can block, he can catch the ball. He's a very, like I say, you're not going to replace Gronk. We got to do that in a variety of ways, whether it's running back, the other tight ends, the receivers. We got to replace his catches in other ways, but he brings us a veteran presence, understanding the ball game, and he learns fast, so he'll help us on Sundays. Oh, definitely. Yeah, he looks good.
Other teams are dealing with legal issues, contract issues, distractions. How thankful are you to have this camp and have a total focus on football?
That's a great job by the front office, you know, getting these guys signed up and getting them in. You don't have to worry about that stuff, and nobody has to read anything about somebody holding out, and we've got continuity going in. We just got to keep that up and build culture and chemistry in this camp. I think we'll be fine.
This changes, obviously, that, you know, Bruce would run 2 practice fields with the younger guys and the other guys at the same time. So what's your philosophy in terms of just having 1 practice field and everybody concentrate on that?
Normally I like 2 practice fields, but a lot of guys got a lot of work in phase 2 and OTAs that were younger, and we were a little short at tight end for a little while, so going 2 fields kind of put a damper on it. We realized how long the season was last year, so 1 field would probably be better, ramping these guys up as opposed to going full bore before we get rolling. These guys run out of gas in the middle of the season.
The defensive side of the ball, you made some additions in D-line, in the secondary. On paper, is this the most talented defense you've fielded since you've been here in 2019?
Since I've been here, it's been close. I mean, JPP and Sue were talented. It's hard to replace those 2 guys as well. Jordan was talented. We had a defense in Dallas that was pretty good back in 07, I want to say, 06, 07. That was very good. But, again, talent doesn't mean nothing if the chemistry doesn't come together. But all of them work hard, and they're getting to know each other, so we expect that to grow every week.
Competition. How did Kyle Trask look to you today?
Kyle's been working hard. Kyle works his tail off. He's getting it down. He's more confident because he's getting more reps, and the more he plays, the more confident he looks, and we'll get a good look at him this preseason, but I'm happy with his progress.
Coach, there's got all over the defensive, offensive side of football. One area that might be a little shallow is outside linebacker, edge rusher. Is that an area you're looking to maybe add to through free agency, and how have you been impressed by Elijah Ponder's transformation?
Well, we got 4 guys that can play right now that have played, in Joe and Shaq and Nelson and in Cam. Ponder's reshaped his body to go from a defensive lineman to an outside backer. He dropped a lot of weight. He looks good coming off the edge right now. again, we're not looking to add, but if something falls in our lap that we think can help us and fit right in without messing up the chemistry, we'll take a look at it.
Speaking of which, you mentioned that Leonard looks good and everything. Do you feel right now that his body composition is where it needs to be, or are you wanting to see him up a little bit? What are your thoughts?
I feel like he's in great shape right now. Obviously, everybody can get in a little better shape. You don't want to come into camp in tip-top shape. You want to get in some better shape, playing shape as you get into camp. So that naturally is going to drop about 4 or 5 pounds. Not just him, but we have several guys like that, which is only natural. But as far as running the ball and playing in games, he can play right now.
Anything else? Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Got Levante David next.
Good morning. Good morning. Foot's feeling great. I'm out here. You know, got cleared. Came back with the rookies for my physical. You know, got cleared. Everything was ready to go. So happy to be back out here. You know, play football again. So definitely excited.
How did it impact your offseason?
It had a lot to do with my off season. That's all I worked on. It was just physical therapy on my foot. Couldn't really take no trips, no vacations. I had to focus on my foot, and so I could be able to get back here, be with my guys.
You were 60%, Levante. What are you now?
I'm 100. I'm cleared. I'm ready to go. I'm full go. So I'm 100%, man, ready to go, ready to get back after it, ready to have fun, and ready to be my normal self and be impactful.
You're a guy that's faced Julio Jones. What does it mean that this organization, even though it was already a decent wide receiver, was also have this organization went out and got another weapon?
Just go to show the type of guy he is. You know, this organization, we try to get guys who, you know, can play good football and can fit in our locker room, and you know, just go to show he's a guy who fit that mold. You know, obviously playing him for a numerous amount of years, he's a great football player, and I still believe he got a lot left in the tank, and can't wait to get here and see what he got.
Levante, during the offseason, you said that you weren't making the splash plays and the tackles for loss last year like you had in the past. What do you have to do to get back to that splashy Levante David we've seen?
I think a lot of that got to do with how offenses was playing against us and things like that. So I got to find a way to create my own plays and create my own splash plays. So that's something I just got to focus on, just tapping into something different. You know, understanding offenses more, understanding offensive schemes more, and how people attacking us. So I can make my plays that way. So they definitely gonna come. You know, it's just me. You know, I just want to be the best I can be and be the playmaker that I am, and I'm gonna get back to that.
Coach Bowles said, Levante, he wasn't very happy with the overall tackling for most of the season.
Yeah.
He thought it was subpar.
Yeah.
You go along with that. What can improve that?
Yeah, I agree. You know, like I said, man, the way teams was attacking us, you know, getting the ball out quick, making us run and, you know, have to make tackles. So we got to do a better job at that in open field tackling for sure. So understanding how, you know, people want to play against us, so we got to be able to practice that right away. You know, you got a couple of defensive calls to help us with that. So it's definitely going to be, you know, emphasis on that, better open field tackling and getting everybody to the football.
Guys like Neal and Logan Ryan help in that regard too?
For sure. If you in this defense, you definitely can help.
Are there any goals for you and Devin White just to kind of get on a different level this year than you have in the past few years? Nick Clay, Derek Brooks said that's something that you guys are constantly working on, is how to improve your chemistry together on the field.
Yeah, for sure. That's all the time, man. You know, every year is something different. So every year you got to work on something different with the person you playing with. So you just still got to fill each other out because, you know, they maybe see something different the way you see it. So we just got to be on the same page with that. But overall, man, I feel like we the best, and I feel like we're going to continue to try to dominate the way we play. And, you know, I feel like we complement each other well, and it's a standard that we set when we out there on the field. We just got to be the best when we out there.
You said there's something every year. Is there something specific you guys are working on this year to kind of get better at as a duo?
Probably just, you know, when the ball is thrown, things like that, going back to, you know, the open field tackling and stuff like that. When the ball is thrown, understand how offense is attacking us, making sure we get to our spots and break it on the football quicker.
Can you speak to the development of KJ Brett and how much you think his role might expand this season?
Yeah, KJ was one of the guys who I was very impressed with. You know, not me, a lot of people around the building. KJ improved immensely because, you know, with me being out for the offseason, he had a lot of time to go in with the ones and work with Devin. So watching him grow and watching him understand the defense and more getting a chance to play faster. So it's definitely an improvement to see, man. Also the younger guys, man, a lot of those guys coming in and, you know, kind of stepped up right away, and it's good to see.
Levante, Todd was asked about focus is always on the defense.
So.
What have you noticed different about him watching your defensive coordinator now in the role?
He's more chill now. I mean, like he's just watching back, sitting back and observing everything. He's not saying much, on the defensive side and on the offensive side, but he's just more observing, letting the coaches coach. Years prior, he was all in, trash talking, messing with people and stuff like that. So it's not a lot of that going on, but it's only the first day, so we're gonna see how the rest go.
Levante, you're here, but Sue isn't here. JPP isn't here anymore. Who stepped up as the leader for you on this team?
Obviously, having those two guys, man, was a big thing. Those guys, what they brought on the field and off the field as leaders is going to be hard to replace. But it gives guys like opportunity for guys like Carlton Davis, you know what I'm saying, and then adding Akeem Hicks and Vita and Will Golson. Those guys, we always say you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. So those guys, it's a lot of leaders out there on that field. And a lot of guys we got faith in step up and fill the role of those two guys.
Along those lines, you got younger, right? Do you feel like you got more athletic as a defense, faster maybe with Joe on the field more, maybe even with the rookie coming in?
Yeah, I would say more. I would say so. Joe, what he brings to the game. He's more versatile. You can move him around, get him, put him in different places to have mismatches and one-on-ones with certain people. And then, I feel like we was already athletic already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess you can. The only thing with Joe, just you could move him around more. Put him in different situations and give him mismatches.
Levante, you've lined up behind Vita Vea for years now since his rookie season. What has he done to take his game to that next Pro Bowl level? Where has he grown the most, do you think?
I would say I see Vita working on his pass rushing a lot more. He's a big, dominant guy. When you're going against a guy like that, the offensive lineman already try to brace themselves for bull rushes and stuff like that. But Vita, he's trying to take his game to another level. Working his hands more. He was already a big athletic guy. So when guys see him, not bull rushing and making moves, it's gonna be a whole different ball game. So I'm excited to see that. Excited to see how that go. But Vita has a lot in store and he's ready to go.
What have you learned from him as a veteran player yourself? What have you learned from him and watching him? Maybe that's contributed to your longevity.
Yeah, just how you approach the game and how you take care of your body each day. Tom was always here, first guy here all the time, working on himself, getting himself warmed up, getting himself ready to go. And I was joking around with Tandy. He saw me here earlier. I'm like, man, I'm getting old. I gotta do the same thing, So I gotta be he's in tip-top shape for a guy going into 45. So it's great to see. So a lot of young guys, can learn from that, and he's a perfect example of it.
What's it been like, Levante, for you the last 2-3 years coming to camp with a loaded roster, Brady at the top?
Yeah.
And does it give you a little more energy, a little more juice mentally coming to camp than you had in years previous?
I'm just a lover of the game of football, so don't matter who's on the roster. I come in with the same mindset. It's like I'm a rookie again, and I'm excited to be here, excited to be an opportunity. And every time I'm out there, I'm gonna take advantage of it. No matter who we have on the other side, or no matter how our roster look. My main focus is in camp is just doing the best I can to help this football team, and wherever I could fit in at and do what I do, I'm gonna be my best at it. And adding guys to the roster is just a compliment to it. So it's definitely good to have those guys. Don't get me wrong, but my mindset, is just go out there and be the best I could be and focus on myself and see how I can help this football team win.
You like it?
Do I like the fact that favorite? Times change, right? I remember years prior, it was never a discussion like that. Now people saying we the favorite. So I try to not get caught up in it. I just try to, make sure everybody stay level-headed and everybody's working to be the best. And then at the end of the season, we'll see where we at.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Kyle, welcome to town. How much, just having first practice, how much did that help you feel like this is realistic moment?
It felt good. Certainly kind of a whirlwind of 36, 48 hours getting down here, going through the physical and meeting everyone in the building, from training staff to equipment staff, strength staff, football staff. So that was kind of Monday for me, and then yesterday a lot of the guys are around, and now you get to meet your teammates and the guys that you're going to be working with, whether in the tight end room or the offensive room in general. And then today to come out and get on the practice field. So it was kind of like 3 first days for me in a row, but it definitely felt great to be back out there on the practice field with all my new teammates and able to run around and knock some rust off.
Kyle, you had some options of teams to go to. We presume to know why you chose this team this time.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me at this point, in my career and what I was looking for in terms of a team and organization, everything's about winning. The only thing I haven't done to this point is win a championship, and that's all I want to do. And it's been very evident the first 2 days here that that's the ultimate goal. Everything that we do individually or collectively as a team, collectively as an offense, is about reaching that ultimate goal. And it's been stressed numerous times. Obviously came up just short last year, but you're kind of retooling the team each year, and now we got to start from ground zero and build back up to that. You don't just get the opportunity to be back in the divisional round. You have to earn it. And so for me, coming into a culture like that, to be around that type of vibe, that's what I was looking for. And certainly the obvious other reason was the quarterback and his play.
Quarterback. So what are you more excited to learn from Tom Brady, and how much can that elevate your career? Because you have the potential to go so much further with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly exciting. I mean, it's unmatched, the success that he's had in this league. Obviously, he's had an unbelievable run with tight ends throughout the course of his career. So just being able to, I already told him last night after meetings, I'm like, when you get sick of me, just tell me. I'll give you your space. But until then, just constantly, because it's one thing to learn the offense. And, that's been I feel like I'm back in college and I'm cramming for an exam, trying to learn as much as I can, go out and practice it. And now I got to go back in there and learn everything for tomorrow's practice. And it's one thing to know what your job is, but then it's another to know kind of the nuances. And yeah, the lines on the paper may say this, but here's how Tom wants it. And, today we had a couple missed opportunities. Just I've run something a certain way my whole career, and, he wants it a little bit different. And he's the first one to come over and, hit me on the head and tell me, like, dude, we'll get that. Don't worry about it. Like, so there's a lot of catch up from that standpoint. But just to go to work every day and to be able to learn from somebody like that who's not only had the success that he's had at his position, but the success that he's had with other tight ends. So it's a ton of fun. It's kind of, invigorating for my career to here I am at year 12, and yet I still feel like I'm, learning something new every day. And, you mentioned it has great opportunity to kind of take my career to a place that's never been before.
You talked about the success he's had with other tight ends. Obviously, the tight end that just left here has had more success with him than anybody else ever. And what does that mean to you and your thoughts on filling shoes that are sort of impossible to fill?
Those shoes are way too big to fill, and I've got pretty big feet, so still, you're never going to fill those shoes. But, with that being said, yes, you can't fill those shoes, but I feel like there's so much ground to make up, and I don't have 10 years of experience with Tom to make it up. We played the Dallas Cowboys week 1 in September, and, my goal is to go out there that week and be on the same page with Tom like we have been playing together for 10 years. So, that's where I mentioned before, and I told Tom, when you're sick of me, just tell me, because I feel like we're playing catch-up in terms of the nuances of routes and how he wants things. So, just spending that extra time together, whether it's in the meeting room, watching tape, out here during individual periods or special teams, I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately for me, I've done this a lot over my career where you have to learn a new quarterback and, learn how they like routes run or learn, where they want your body in certain positions. So I'm used to it, but certainly now more than ever, definitely feel like I'm playing catch up.
We know Thomas has done a lot of recruiting. Russell Gage felt that he's getting a prank phone call during free agency. Did you personally recruit him?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and when Tom reached out back early in the summer, it was even before Rob had made a decision, and he was like, "Look, we don't know what Rob's going to do at this point, but regardless, we need you down here. And, to me, that was kind of my first introduction, if you would, to Tampa and the thought of coming down here to playing. And then as the process kind of worked itself out, obviously when Rob retires, that left the void that we talked about in the tight end room. And what better opportunity for me at this point in my career to come down here and not only play with the greatest quarterback of all time, but like I said, play a part of this culture and be around this winning culture that Coach Bowles talks about all the time.
This team has targeted the tight end position in the red zone for the last few years more than any other team in the league. What does that do for you in terms of opportunity? Because it's opportunity, but it's also a lot of pressure too, especially when it's coming from training.
It makes me extremely excited because that's kind of how I've made a living in this career. That's how I've stayed in this league as long as I have, and those opportunities haven't been there the last couple of years. So I'm looking forward to getting back to getting those opportunities. And if you play this game, that's pressure that you want. You want when we get down there, whether it's in the red zone, the low red, you can't wait for your number to be called and make a play for your team to put points on the board.
You're saying red zone is where you made your
Yes.
How are you? I know you played a long time.
Yep.
How are you feeling coming into this?
I feel great. Now I know why a lot of old people come to Florida when they get old. It's amazing down here. So, no, all joking aside, it's, for me to kind of have an entire off season. I had the foot surgery last year, so it's, it ruined all plans of training. It turns everything into rehab. But coming out of this past season healthy, being able to train like I normally would, allowed me to get to this point physically where, to come out here day one, oftentimes even when you've trained all off season, you're not ready for day one of training camp. Certainly there's rust, and now you're getting used to navigating bodies when you're running routes, especially as a tight end, because you have the defensive end outside linebackers, safeties. It's one thing to run routes on air by yourself all summer, but then coming out here and navigating bodies, so there's kind of a different endurance that you have to build up. But physically, I feel great, and couldn't be more excited about how I feel right now.
Feel a brotherhood, Kyle? Do you feel a brotherhood with guys like Akeem Hicks, Keanu, Neal, Julio, missing that Vince Lombardi trophy, veteran players? You sort of all got that same hunger.
Absolutely. I talked to Julio today as soon as he walked out on the field. Julio and I were the same draft class, got to know each other really well coming out of college, and he said almost exactly that. He's like, I'd really thought about coming down here, and he's like, seeing you go down there and some of the other pieces that they've had, he's like, just let's do it. Let's go do everything we can to try to win one. And I think it just speaks volumes of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization. It speaks volumes of the culture of Coach Bowles. Everyone knows that that's why you're coming here. And it's hard to get guys to buy into that. I've been in this league a long time, and it's hard to get teams to put individual success aside and do everything for an ultimate goal. And like I said, it's been no more relevant here the last 2 days than any place I've ever been. That's everything we do is about.
Before Ron could even announce you were I think you were down here by coincidence at the wedding.
Yeah.
Were you scouting? Had you thought about this as where you might be even then?
It was funny because the wedding was on Anna Maria Island, and we weren't here long enough. We barely 24 hours, flew in Saturday morning and out Sunday morning. But definitely, I had talked to my wife, and a lot of my family members were down here for the wedding. And of course, there were a lot of comments about, wouldn't this be a nice place to live? Wouldn't this be a nice place to play? So we definitely didn't have time to really scout anything out. But one of the best things about football and pro sports in general, it's kind of a family of people. Within 2 to 4 hours of news breaking that we were coming down here, so many people reached out about places to live, schools to send the kids, connecting with whether not even Bucks players, but Lightning players. I live in Minnesota, so it's all hockey guys up there. So a lot of the Lightning guys are up there. And it's just, I can't speak more highly for my first 3 days down here and the warm welcome that not only I've had down here, but my family's had, and my family's not even here yet. They don't get here till Sunday. But they're super fired up. The kids are excited for palm trees at Christmas time instead of pine trees.
You mentioned the fact that the Bucs are they were so close last season, and the culture and their ability to win
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I've been knocking on the door. I've been one game away from the big one, never gotten to the big one. Certainly over the course of the last 12 years, there's a lot of experience. I like to think that I've pretty much seen everything, been through everything, good times, bad times, wins, losses, and I feel like that adversity is what kind of sticks with you throughout your life, and you learn from it, and it makes you appreciate the good times even better. I think that's one of the things you constantly stress to young guys as you're on good teams and you're making playoff runs that don't take this for granted. I feel like Tom's ruined it for everybody in the league. They just assume you're going to go to the Super Bowl 10 times or, make it to the divisional round with a bye every year. That's not the case. There's been a lot of great players in this league that have never played a playoff game or have never won a playoff game, and you can't take it for granted. So to come to a place like this where, like I said, everything that we do is about that ultimate goal of getting back there. If you would have asked me in 2017 if we'd be back, I would have said absolutely. And yet here I am, coming up 5 years later, and I haven't been close since. So it makes you kind of take advantage of every year and every opportunity.
When you look at the tight end room, you got a bunch of rookies in there. You're a veteran, but you're on the same level as those guys when it comes to the playbook.
They're farther ahead than I am.
So Cam Brate, I assume you guys are going to be best friends. He's the lone veteran in the room. You'd be spending some time picking his brain.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how impressed I've been with the rookies so far. Obviously, Cam's a guy that's been around, kind of been in the system for a few years, has unbelievable knowledge of it. Obviously, I wasn't here in OTAs and mini camps when the rookies were probably feeling a lot like I'm feeling right now. But just to see the way that they've prepared the first 3 days that I've been here, the way they've worked in the meeting room to come out here today on the first day. I've been a part of a lot of first days, and certainly this was one of the cleanest ones I've ever seen just from an organizational standpoint. Usually you got guys everywhere, especially in our room because there's multiple tight ends on the field and you're playing different positions. So to speak to the young guys, I couldn't be more impressed at the way they prepared themselves and went out and practiced today. And then for Cam, it's a lot like Tom. I just told him to let me know when I'm driving you crazy and when you've had enough of me, because I do. Like I mentioned before, it's one thing to learn the lines on the paper, to learn what my responsibility is, but what are the nuances? How do you actually run this? How do you block this? And those are questions that I ask Cam often.
An offense it doesn't just relegate the tight ends to just look short to intermediate passes. Like you saw Gronk go down the field for he's really getting behind the defense. Is that something that would get you at this phase in your career, or is that something you feel you can do?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm extremely excited for that too, especially a lot like Rob. Bigger guys, longer stride. At times those shorter, quicker routes, that's not stuff that we do well, and it's hard for us bigger guys to get momentum and to get speed. So a lot of those down the field routes give us the opportunity to kind of, pick up speed. Probably ran more of those today than I have in a long time. And, it's a ton of fun. And I can't stress enough how much I'm excited to just be a small part of this offense and do everything I can to help us move the chains, score points, win games.
We're going to be cramming a lot, as you said, but also with the rookies, how much are you going to play like a mentorship role to them as well? Helping them along, you've seen just about all there is in the NFL. How much will that play a part while you're playing?
It's huge, and I think that's a responsibility that we have as veteran players. I had unbelievable veterans when I was a rookie. I had 2 9-year vets, a 13-year vet in my room, and they took me under their wing. They answered every question I had. They helped me along the way. They taught me what it means to be a professional on the field, how to prepare yourself as a professional off the field, how to carry yourself off the field. And I've always felt that responsibility to pass that knowledge down to younger players, well beyond now as a 12-year vet. It's just, I feel like that's a responsibility that you have. It's kind of an unwritten rule in our game. You got to help the young guys out because we've all been that young guy at one point in our career. And if anyone tells you that they got to where they are as a veteran player by themselves, they're lying. It's not true. You had somebody help you out along the way.
Okay, that's it. Sorry, thank you. Got it.
I was 9 in college, and this is the closest thing to it. Awesome. Thank you, guys. The man, they
I didn't think that, but that's the past. I'm here now. I'm looking forward, right? I'm not looking backwards. It's a great opportunity for me to be a part of something special in the Buccaneer family. Just looking forward to getting to work.
It's been a long offseason. When did you first start seriously thinking about Tampa as an option?
All along. Once I got the call from Tennessee and they're saying I can, go out and explore. Jimmy Sexton, my agent at CAA, we discussed some options, things like that. And I already told him where I wanted to play. So just being with a Hall of Fame quarterback, great quarterback, the coaching staff here is next door. I'm from Alabama. I played in Georgia, right? So it's like it's right here. My family can come see me. I'm not going out the way, but just having the ability to come down here and just work, bring what I can to the team, whatever I can to the team to help, whether it's mentor, my play style, whatever the case may be, just come out here and work each and every day and just try to get better.
What do you expect, like, the next couple days to look like for you? And I know there's some terminology that has to be learned in the system. So for you being in the situation you're in now, just mentally, like, what will these next couple days be like?
So the next couple of days for me is more so like, just getting everything handled inside the building, right? So you got to do the physical, you got to do all that before I can actually come out here, and play and so on and so on. But I'm healthy. I'm 100% healthy. I don't have any issues, nothing lingering, holding me back, anything like that. But it's just the beginning. So I just have to check all those boxes first and then just come out here and play. Whether I got a little bit of the formations in today's install, but even if I don't, I still come out here and run routes. I know what an end cut is. I know what a slant is. I know what a hitch is. I know what go routes is. I know what all that is, right? So, like, just coming out here and just doing it over and over, I learn it. So I don't see no pressure on me as far as trying to figure out the offense. I just feel like just being out here and just getting the experience and running and timing.
What have your conversations been like with Tom? Like, prior to getting here, I'm not sure if you've talked to him, or what has that been like?
That's confidential. Tom's a great guy, man. Who you want to, be leading your ball club, who you want to play for, so I'm going to take as far as that now, okay?
You've done everything in your career, right, except for the Super Bowl. You came really close to that except for the guy you're playing with now.
Right.
Is that just the crowning piece for you as far as your career? A lot of guys are here for that ring.
Absolutely. For me, it's not a money play. It's not none of that, right? It's just for me to come out here knowing my value and knowing what I have to offer, right? And like I said, the Buccaneer organization just giving me the opportunity to come here and showcase my skills and just to be a part of something new, be a part of this team. Like I said, they have everything that they need already, right? So it's just like, but you got to put the work in each and every day. Nothing is given to you. You got to come to work every day. And that's what I bring. I'm going to work every day, and that's just who I am.
Julio, what does it mean to be reunited with, like, a guy like Russell Gage, who you spent
Right.
significant time with? And has he been helping you kind of get up to speed with the installs, and will you rely on him?
Listen, I literally just got here. Like, this morning. I flew in last night, right? So today after practice, that was my first time seeing Gage. But Kiki. It's several guys here that I've played with. Even, Kyle just left, but we got drafted together. Just familiar faces, just hanging out, doing things together. So, it's good. It feels like it's supposed to feel. It doesn't feel foreign to me. Just seeing familiar faces. Everybody's been welcoming here. And that's what you want, in a ball club, in an organization, with the players. Had another chance to talk to Mike not too long ago. But I always talk to him in passing, after a game here and there. But now we're going to be able to spend more time together just to talk, communicate, So I think that's just a plus, man. Like, everybody, like-minded people coming together, and we all got the same common goal.
Gosh, it's so ironic, like Brooke was saying, how, you were this close. And
Why are you bringing up old stuff? We don't go backwards. He did it. He did it. All right.
If you're living a million years, you guys would be teammates. He'd be
Right.
the one throwing you the ball.
Right. Now, like I said, it's a surreal moment. it's amazing. Like I'm ready to go though. Like but at the end of the day, it's all about accountability. I have to be accountable for him, the team, everybody, right? So like, with all that said and done, like I still got to come to work. I still had to put the work in. Like you can see Julio with the Bucks. We got Mike, we got Tom, but we all got to put the work in though. It's nothing. Nobody's gonna give us anything, So we just got to come out here and work each and every day, and that's all it's about.
What can Buck fans expect from Keanu Neal?
He's definitely a thumper. He gonna hit. He gonna make plays. He's not gonna shy away from things. Hard-working guy. His work ethic through the roof. I mean, he's not lazy. He doesn't take plays off. Like, and these my years being with him in Atlanta. Like, just coming in as a young guy, like his whole work ethic, everything about him, he's the real deal.
What have these past 2 years been for you? A lot of change, a lot of frustrations. How excited are you at this stage to kind of get yourself corrected?
For me, I'm never frustrated. It's all about learning curves, right? So I always learn through everything I go through in life. Like, because I control me. I control my emotions. I control everything. I don't let someone else control who I am or how I view things, right? Like, people may say, like, okay, you wasn't successful in this, but for me, I know what success is to me. I can't let someone else judge who Julio is but me. But, I mean, I did have some nicks and knacks here and there. But like I said, I never look backwards. It's all about the present, right? And like for me right now, I feel great. I feel amazing. I just gotta stay that way, keep it that way, and just keep coming out here working each and every day, and just doing my best and knowing just being me at the end of the day. I mean, there's nothing I need to elaborate on more. It's just come out here and be who I am. And I don't need to be nobody else but that.
For so much of your career, you've been the guy that defenses focus on. You got in the best corner.
Right.
How much does it help you now to know the defenses have to account for Mike Evans and
Right.
Chris Godwin?
Right.
How does that help you?
I just think, defenses is going to probably, go zone, maybe. Just because of the, the weapons that we have. I mean, with Leonard Fournette. I mean, we got like Kyle, we have so many weapons, which is cool. But, like, at the end of the day, we all got to stay healthy. We got to come to work every day. All that, predictions and different things like that. We just got to all come to work, be accountable to one another, and just handle our responsibilities. And then, after the game or whatever, after the season, whatever happens, But we got to come out here and take it one day at a time to get better and get our chemistry together. So. Like I said, just me. I don't have any limitations on my game. Whether it's the deep ball, the short pass, screens, blocking, what I'm saying? I can pretty much do everything. But I mean, Mike and Godwin in there. Gage, he's becoming a veteran. But you have younger guys too. Like we can all learn from each other, first and foremost. But also we can help younger guys as well. And don't let them get down on themselves and things like that. Because when we was breaking it down today, Mike said, you here, you the best in the world, which is true. So these guys got to understand, they're some of the best in the world. So don't get down on yourself, whether if it's a drop pass or, a misassignment, things like that. You just got to work on it.
You're a Falcons legend. You're back in the NFC South now. What's it going to be like playing your old team twice this season?
Nothing. I'm coming. It don't matter. I'm coming the same way every game. It don't matter who I'm playing. That's just my mentality. There's no up and down, right? I don't need to get up for Atlanta or whomever it is. It's one way.
You've spoken about the younger guys in the room, and it's clear that there's going to be high competition in the wide receiver group. What's the biggest advice that you can give these guys as they really try to rise to the occasion and compete with guys like you, Mike Evans, Russell Page, and Godwin?
Like I said, just don't let one play define who you are. Like I said, people, and you got to be able to forget. Like young guys, I feel like it's hard to forget and move on because, like I said, a missed pass or a missed assignment, they hang on that throughout the whole practice, right? Your whole practice is going to be sorry, right? And that's just like you don't want to take that from practice to a game like scenario, right? The experience of the way you practice, the way you play. So you don't want to take that same mentality from, okay, well, I missed this in the game, and coach get on to me. The whole game, you're not gonna play well. So it's just like, but I mean, I just think we have enough veterans in the room to keep these guys level-headed and keep them, striving to be their best, whether it's here or somewhere else. Because if you get cut here, it doesn't mean you're not good, right? It's just like you just got to keep working. But that's what you want. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to keep working and don't feel like you hit your peak or your ceiling. Then you start working, and then like you just, okay, what I'm gonna do now? And you've been doing this for 12, 13 years of your life. Want to get to this level, and you get here, and you see guys who've been doing it for a while, right? And you're like, well, I'm not there yet. It's okay, but you got to keep working, and you got to listen. You got to learn. You got to have mentors and things like that.
2, 8, 11 are all kind of spoken for. Those roster, will there be any back channel deals for a number, or are you going to start fresh here in Tampa Bay with a new number?
Nah, whatever they have available. I mean, it don't matter. I make the number don't make me. So.
Russell had said he actually had a really funny story about Tom recruiting him. He thought it was a prank call earlier in free agency. Tom's been known to do a lot of recruiting. Kyle said that. What was that call like? I'd imagine Tom gave you a phone call. What was that like?
You think he gave me a call?
Yeah. I would imagine he was on your.
You think he
was on the recruiting.
Did Tom call me?
Did you answer?
That's what I'm trying to see. What's his area code? Yeah, I talked to him. I talked with Tom several times, but it was just on some we just talking. It wasn't really about coming to Tampa. It was we were just communicating, just filling each other out, I guess. Probably was a tactic, but I don't know. I'm here. I said it was probably a tactic, but I don't know. I'm here, so.
Well, you gotta start building relationships.
Right, absolutely. Nah, but I mean, like I said, man, Tom is a humble guy, great energy. You know what you're getting out of him. It's kind of like when I talk to him, it's kind of like I'm talking to myself, in a way. So just with the leadership, what we expect, things like that. So it's just like we're on the same page and how we hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard than probably most do. So it's just like. But all in all, we talked a little bit, and I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's all for press conference.